Do you remember when the choice of who you could bank with was as limited as the number of channels on TV?
HSBC,
Lloyds Bank,
NatWest, Savings and Investments.
Back then, the choice was a finite pool of traditional monopolistic institutions like HSBC and Barclays, and they had us all by the balls. They could treat us like garbage and charge us obscenely high fees for things like going overdrawn, calling customer service, and of course for spending money internationally. But at some point, fed up business-minded individuals thought there must be a better way. And this led to the creation of the FOREX or travel money card. TravelX, the Post Office, EasyFX, WeSwap, and Thomas Cook are just some of the examples of the providers that offer these cards. Currensea, another and the main topic of this video, is actually known as a direct debit travel card and is pretty unique and interesting. It's powered by open banking, which is basically a sexy way of saying API. Simply, open banking allows you to share your financial information with other companies so they can provide you with a better service. For Currensea, this means acting as a layer in front of your existing high street bank account. Let's say you pay for something on holiday using your Currensea card. As long as you have enough money in your linked bank account, then Currensea will authorize the transaction, take care of the foreign exchange with their rates, and then debit your bank account with the final amount, sidestepping any potential fixed or hidden fees that your bank may have charged you. This is a great idea, but what's the point if there are banks with current accounts and credit cards that use good exchange rates and don't charge obscenely high fees? Let's take Starling Bank for example and look at their free current account compared to Currencea's essential free plan. Their exchange rates are roughly the same, except Currensea uses the mid-market rate for 16 currencies and applies a 0.5% fee. For all others, like Starling, they use Mastercard's rates. For international withdrawals, they're less equal. Starling is basically unlimited, and Currensea is limited to £1,500 each month. And if you exceed £500, you'll be charged a 2% exchange rate fee. When it comes to international money transfer, I wouldn't recommend either. Obviously, I would always recommend checking Monito.com first, but if we do check both apps, we can see that Starling is slightly better, at least at the time of recording. I also, out of curiosity, checked Monito.com, and for transferring £5,000 to euros, Atlantic Money is the best provider right now. So that's Currencea's basic plan compared to Starling. But what if you don't want to open a new bank account, especially if you're just going on holiday for 1 week? Getting your ID verified, taking a selfie, and then having to patiently wait for confirmation might not seem worth it. Well, that's why Currensea is a compelling proposition. It's convenient because you don't need to open a bank account, and nor do you need to top it up. It took me just 4 minutes and 40 seconds to sign up, which is faster than when I opened my Starling account, which took around a day. Currensea just needed to verify my email address and telephone number, although I did have to wait 3 days to receive the card, which is a bit of a caveat because that means waiting to start spending. You don't have this issue with Starling because they have virtual cards. Also, if you find virtual cards confusing or just want to know more about them, then check out the video I published last week, which I'll link below. So it seems like for every reason to use Currensea, there is a counter argument in favor of using a bank account like Starling. And virtual cards aren't the only benefit of having a Starling account. You get access to bill splitting, saving spaces, spare change, great customer service, and more. While Currensea is limited on features, including their customer service, which is only chat and email support. Although they are responsive and helpful, I sent them an email which was responded to in around 4 hours, and their live chat answered my question within 1.5 minutes, roughly. They also have a phone number, but that appears to be just another way to leave a message.
This is an automated line, but we monitor it closely and we'll get back to you shortly.
I definitely would congratulate Currensea on their customer feedback. They currently have a 4.9 on Trustpilot from around 3,500 reviews, with most people mentioning how quick, easy, and convenient it is to use, as well as the great exchange rates. Oh, I actually should go back. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. I forgot to mention, when you register, you can choose to contribute a percentage of the savings that you make using the card to planting trees and removing plastic bottles from the ocean. It's a noble proposition, and perhaps one that may compel or be the deciding factor in whether someone uses this card. They also have cashback with certain retailers, which again may swing your decision. Now, this is the list of the banks that are available to link with Currensea, and it is definitely some of the worst offenders for fees when it comes to international transactions. And for obvious reasons, you're not going to see challenger banks on this list, which the founders themselves have spoken about.
Focus mainly on the high street banks rather than the challenger banks, to be honest, because they've already got a pretty strong offering.
But if you do have an account with one of these banks and are determined for it to remain your only account, then Currensea could be a good option. I'm still going to say could because both Barclays and Halifax, who are on this list, do have some of the best credit cards for international spending. The Barclays Card Rewards Card and the Halifax Clarity Credit Card both use Mastercard's FX rates and don't charge fixed fees on international transactions. So they could be relatively similar to using Currensea, and because they're credit cards, you'd get purchase protection through Section 75, which does include foreign transactions. This wouldn't be available with a Currensea card, but they do support Mastercard Chargebacks, which may help you reclaim funds for any of these following reasons. Only downside with relying on a credit card internationally is that you really shouldn't withdraw cash, so it may still be useful to have Currensea as a means of getting foreign notes. But then, is it really worth having a card for spending and a card for withdrawing internationally when you could open an account with Starling and kill two birds with one stone? That's also a really good pun. Currensea do have paid plans, which if you're willing to go for would potentially get you some of the best possible exchange rates available. With either premium or elite, if you transact in one of the 16 currencies that Currensea doesn't use Mastercard exchange rates for, then you'd receive the mid-market rate and pay no additional fee. That's as good as it'll ever get. You do obviously pay for it though. So if you're just holidaying for 1 week a year, then it's probably not worthwhile. But if you're frequently traveling, visiting any one of these countries and spend a large amount, then Currensea and their premium plan is definitely worth considering. They also have this interesting and somewhat horrifying page on their website. This outlines the savings you could pay if you were to visit Florida and spend roughly $11,000. It's both fascinating and disturbing that if you bank with TSB and took a 2-week holiday like this, you'd end up spending £421 in fees.
Serious?
They have also included Starling in this, and apparently Currensea is the better choice for this trip, although the difference is negligible. And given all of the free banking features Starling provides, including fee-free ATM withdrawals, I'd personally still use them over Currensea. Also, if you do want to open an account with Starling, then do click the link in the description box. That's an affiliate link, so by using it, you'll be supporting myself and the channel. Hope you found the video useful and interesting. Do give it a thumbs up if you did, and feel free to comment below if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.